Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. So we start with a Three of Swords. Three of Swords, well, it's a card called sorrow. It's heartbreak, it's loss, it's all of these things. But really, this is about understanding the process of creation on the mental plane. Understanding the power of our thoughts. Okay? Understanding that if we can harness our thoughts and we can direct them in a certain direction, we have the power to manifest whatever it is that we wish for in life. Okay? We need to put this card into some context. Let's see what we are focusing our thoughts on, or what we have been. Well, now there is a Queen of Cups. We have a Three of Wands down here. We've got a Queen of Pentacles, a Ten of Pentacles, and a Four. I like the Four of Swords, right? Going from a 3 to a 4, I feel like we're stabilizing our thoughts. To me, this kind of seems like a bullseye. It seems like a crosshairs kind of thing, right? I like it. Here we have a Prince of Cups, the Ace of Swords, even more focused thinking. We have an Art or Temperance card, and we have an Eight of Pentacles. I think this is very practical energy. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it down right over here with Big Red Ant right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and give us the confirmation we need. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments. Okay. Now, let's take a look around the room. We only see one major arcana card, right? The Art or Temperance card. This is the energy that we don't want, right? I think that this really is, for one, this is a pressure cooker, right? This is the feeling as if the world around me is having too much of an effect on who I am, that I am just a victim of the forces of the world out here. Whatever forces are active, they are changing me, they are manipulating me, they are doing this to me, right? And so what we want to do is to be able to direct our energy in a way that is authentic, in a way that is true to who we are, in a way that is willed and intentional, in a way that feels right for us. This is our moral compass. This is our identity. This is our virtue. Doing the right thing, even when it's difficult, even when there is opposition. So I feel like there's two sides of this coin. It can either be that we're in the pressure cooker and the world is changing who we are, that we just have to sort of succumb and allow ourselves to be changed by the forces of our environment. Or we can push outward. We can exert some pressure too, and we can cause change in the world in conformity with our will. I think this is really the realization that it works both ways, that every relationship is an alchemical relationship, where the observer and the observed are changed. Okay. This is in the difficult position, because I feel that with that Three of Swords, very much has gone one way, where we feel that we're being crushed by the pressure, right? But not anymore. I like this reading for you. We've got fire underneath the surface. We've got water and water. We've got, of course, our air, and then we've got earth, and earth. So the earth energy, this is what we're aspiring to. This is what we want. We want the good life. We want to be successful. We want to be wealthy, both in finances and in health and in relationships. We want to feel that we've created our life. I want to feel that the life I have is one that I have had a say in. Right? That something here at least was intentional. That it wasn't just things happening to me and I just sort of, like a feather in the wind, just ended up somewhere. No, I want to feel that I built this. Yeah. I want to feel that I had some sort of input into what my life is becoming. I want to be the architect of my best life. This is the picture of your best life. This is the life that you are imagining. Use your third eye. Use that spiritual vision. What is your best life? Get out a sheet of paper. Get out a pencil. Draw a picture of it. What does it look like for you? You got your pets, your plants, your people. What else? Right? You got water, shelter, food. What else is going on? Who are you? Where are you? And what are you doing? Let's have that vision. Okay? And if we put our mind, if we direct our thoughts to this, in this sort of bullseye, crosshairs sort of fashion, we have to know what we want, and we have to aim at it. And then it will start growing, it will start manifesting, and we will do it. Because then we are exerting an outward pressure to sort of counteract the inward pressure that's just life going to change us to whatever forces are active in this random fashion, okay? Now, the Three of Swords and the Queen of Cups, I think that you've been really into your feelings lately. I think you've been deeply feeling your emotions. You're very much in touch with those emotions. I think that in a lot of ways we're going through a period of time right now where we're being sort of introspective. Okay, I think we're feeling things very deeply right now. We're sort of like we're ripping the Band-Aid off and we're looking at what's under there. Okay, I think you're looking for causes. Right? Especially with both of these queens, right? The queens are always looking at the past. The queens are trying to find the cause, right? The etiology of something. How did it originate? How did it come to be? Okay. And so with the Queen of Pentacles looking at the past and trying to find out, how did I get here? How did I get where I am right now? Because let's say the Three of Swords, this is a little bit of this is our thinking right now, okay? And we're sort of we're not so pleased with where we are right at this particular moment, right? So a lot of the time this is an underlying sorrow. It's kind of the whole Buddhist doctrine of existence is suffering. And that's kind of the mood we're in right now, okay? And so since we're in that mood, we're looking back at our practical life, the physical things that have happened and said, how did I get here? What caused this current feeling I'm in now? This existence is suffering kind of energy. How did it come about? What are the practical things? What are the twists and turns? What is the long and winding road that I took to get here? How did that happen? You know? So we're looking for a very practical explanation. We're looking for the cause, the physical world cause of how our current right here, right now energy came to be. The Queen of Cups is also looking at the past, trying to find the emotional cause, trying to find a correlation between the events of life and how I feel now. And sort of maybe we're looking back at our history and thinking, was I, how did I get here right now? Was I pursuing, let's say, surface level desires? Was I just reflecting back to the world? Was I just mirroring what I thought I was supposed to do in life? The demands of the world around me, and I was just reflecting that back to the world? Was I maybe chasing gratification, running from pain and seeking pleasure? Was I in the kind of the shallow end of the pool? And how do I get deeper? How do I really get in touch with what I want in life and what really is going to mean something to me? Maybe you always have been. Maybe you have been seeking that which is very deep within you, and the fact that we are feeling this kind of existence is suffering sort of energy right now, is because we have either come to realize that we haven't arrived there yet, or that our feelings and our actions haven't really been matching up. So with the Queens, anyway, we're looking at causes, right? We're looking at the etiology of this current Three of Swords. Let's call this a wound, right? We're trying to find out how this came about. And we're looking at our emotions, our desires, our aspirations, and our dreams, and we're looking at the practical happenings of our history. So I think we're wondering, did my behaviors match my feelings and match my aspirations? Was there a correlation between the events of life or your behaviors or the practical things and sort of your feelings, your wants, your desires, those deeper aspirations and hopes and dreams and wishes and all that stuff, right? But the idea here, as we sort of transition from our looking at the past to now, trying to just figure out the present. So it's good to try to find the cause. What is the etiology of this? How did it come about? How did it originate? How did it get here? But then also finding out, I think, because the prince is acting in the present moment. So now we try to find out, why is it here? What does it want? Right? What is the nature of its being right now? Because history, past, or origin, it's all good. I mean, we need that. We need to figure out sort of what happened and how we got here. Now that we're here, what does it mean? What is its significance? If the Prince of Cups is feeling that Three of Swords, that sort of existence is suffering, right? Maybe it's because we want to live a more authentic life. That's what the Prince of Cups does anyway. We'll get over here in just a moment. But first, the Three of Wands underneath the surface. You've got passion in you. And maybe this is still underneath the surface. Maybe it's deep down under the water here. Is this identity, is this essential sense of self, this self-knowledge, this gnosis that tells you this is what I'm supposed to do in life. I may not be able to see the north, but my compass does. My compass can see the north, right? And so I think deep within you is the answer. If you've been feeling aimless, we need to start aiming. We need to know what to aim at. This is your ability to aim. This is the muscles and the nerve endings, and this is your eyes, this is your attention, this is your will that knows how to aim at what you want in life. Okay? Despite the pressures, despite the history, despite, because maybe you're someone kind of like me. When I was a kid, a teenager, young adult, when I was in school, after I got out of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do in life. I had no idea who I was. I was wandering around from one job to the next, from one town to the next, one relationship to the next. I didn't know who I was or what I wanted. Got myself into a lot of trouble. A lot of bad things happened. Sort of good things happened too, but it wasn't any of my control. I just it was very much a fool energy, right? Aimless, just stumbling into whatever the environment presented me. Whatever was there on the path, and I would just sort of roll with it. This is the idea of having some intentionality, of knowing kind of who you are and what you want, having that sort of, having a bit of a drive and a bit of an aim, self-motivation, and not just saying like, I'm going to do whatever's in front of me right now. No, it's saying, I want to go and pick my future. I want to go pick my destiny. I want to make an intentional decision and go towards something that feels right for me. Right? It's the energy of the authenticity here in practice. And this is that picture of your best life that you're aiming for. This is kind of, we have to know what it is we want. We have to be able to picture it. You have to have the fantasy of it even. You have to be able to visualize it or draw the picture or paint the picture or write it down or whatever. If you're like me, you can't draw little stick figures. We have to know what this is, right? So we know what sort of pressure to exert, what sort of energy to expend, right? And in what direction. And now we're focusing our thoughts. Now the thoughts about the past, how did I get here? How did it happen? Why? Now we're saying, okay, what is the purpose here? What is my mission? What is this Three of Wands trying to tell you? Or, I'm sorry, in this case, Three of Swords. The Three of Swords becomes the Three of Wands. Okay? But the Three of Swords, this feeling of uneasiness or of lamentation or of sorrow or of suffering, whatever you want to call it, what is it trying to tell you? Yeah, how did it get here? Where did it come from? What is its etiology? What's its cause? Yeah, that's good. But more to the point is why? Why now? What does it want? What is it trying to tell me? What am I supposed to do about it? Well, I think it's trying to tell you that, you got to start aiming at things that mean something to you, that you want in life. Build your best life. Okay? Very often in life we get that Three of Swords and we self-medicate, or we ignore it, or we try to push it down, or we try to cover it up with something else, or we just stay super, super busy, right? So we don't even feel it so much anymore. But it's always there, lingering, nagging, gnawing at us in our gut, like an ulcer. Not to be too dramatic here, but, I think by addressing it, we can come to a realization, and we can come to say, okay, now, you know what? I know why I've been thinking and feeling this way, and I'm going to direct my thoughts toward a life that I want to build. I want something, I wish for something. I aspire to something. We know what that something is, and now we're going to direct our thoughts and thereby our actions toward that thing. So we have to be able to set up the crosshairs. We got to put something in our sights and aim toward it. Okay. I feel like you're somebody that doesn't complain a lot, right? Spirit says that you sort of, you've been kind of, just letting things just be, just letting things flow, not really interfering, not getting involved really with a lot of things. Even though there's now that feeling that just says, I got to do something. I can't linger here with this Three of Swords. I got to do something. It becomes action. The Three of Swords, that sorrow becomes then the motivation for the work. Right? The motivation to just do, to push ourselves towards something that we want, whether any goal at all. Pick anything at all that you feel is a representation of what you want and who you are. Not pressure from outside trying to tell you should want something, but what do you want for yourself? Okay? So we don't have to just get the whole best life, paradise, big rock candy mountain, Garden of Eden, kind of heaven on earth energy. We just pick one thing. Just pick one thing. Well, you know what? I want to get really good at, I want to get really good at swimming, I think. That's something I'd like to improve on, is my swimming. Right? So we do that. We take that up as our mission. We set our sights on it. We picture what it would be like to be swimming, to be a good swimmer relative to how poor of a swimmer I am now. I can swim, but I'm not great. I want to get better at it. I want to do it. That's something I feel passion for, Or you know what else? Tennis. I really wanted to start learning tennis, maybe in the springtime. And then we aim toward it. And we start directing our thoughts toward that. And I think that really is going to make us feel like we're getting out of that Three of Swords, that things are getting better. Now, we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. As we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Okay. So, general energy, your Prince of Cups. This is now a desire to be authentic, a desire to take action, to live a life, to express your truth, to do something on purpose, to do something that is an expression of you, to take your truth and your gift and exert it, right? To offer it to the world in a way. This is the energy that really does want to be authentic. And so this is sort of, we're exerting this pressure. This is air and water. To me, it kind of feels like a bubble. That we're trying to just be that bubble in this infinite ocean where there's all this pressure. And we're trying to be just a little distinct bubble of our own particular truth, our own unique path, doing something that I've chosen, that I've created in my mind, a vision of it, and something that I am aiming toward, and something that I am putting in effort toward. It's not something that anyone else has assigned to you or convinced you that you need to do. It's not us acquiescing or surrendering to the outside pressure. This is us exerting our own internal pressure outside. Okay? And I think that feels good. And it feels real, it feels true, it feels authentic. Okay. I feel like you like to explore new places. Spirit says you really like to travel. Maybe that's part of this path for you, getting back into that. Maybe there's some places that you've always wanted to go, but you've sort of put it on hold for other responsibilities. It might be time to do those things now. Okay. The next card we see is in terms of your environment, in terms of your relationships, an Ace of Swords. I feel like you're sensitive to other people. I think you take time for others. I think you're a good listener. I think that you very often defer to other people in the group, your friends or your coworkers, and it's like, yeah, whatever everybody else decides is fine with me, you know. But now I think that's changing a little bit. I think you're saying, you know what, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to go do. If y'all don't want to go with me, that's okay, but this is where I'm going. Okay, so I feel like you're making decisions for yourself here. You're not kind of saying, well, I don't know. Do I want to go here? Do I want Mexican food or Chinese food? I don't know. You're saying, no, I want Mexican food today, and that's where I'm going to go eat. And it might be a little selfish, and it might seem to others that you're just being a little bit crass or inconsiderate, but that's okay. You're not doing it you're not doing it with any kind of venom or animosity, but you're saying, you know what? This is what I want to do, and I don't want to compromise on it. I don't want to, I don't want to give in all the time. And it's difficult when it feels like we've always been doing that. We're always just sort of deferring to everybody else, or whatever the majority wants. Okay, that's where we'll go eat for dinner or something, or like that's the activity that we'll do. Or just even in the world around you, just through sort of indirectly through society and through the internet and through all this stuff, that we just end up going along with that. And this is saying, no, you know what? I have my own ideas, and I want to do something different. Okay, and at first this may be very stark contrast. It may be the one against the many, for a while. But I think that we start to feel empowered by this because you do have opinions. You do have a vision of your own, and that you do have preferences. And maybe a lot of this is really is kind of you saying, you know what, I don't want to eat Chinese food anymore. I want to go have some Mexican food. Everything comes back to food for me anyway. But I feel that this is some of that energy for you, where you're speaking your truth. Yeah, and even if maybe now we got to sort of argue about it, maybe we're going to flip a coin, maybe we're going to say, okay, you pick where we're going Friday, I'll pick where we're going Saturday. We can still compromise, but this is about you speaking up. This is about you having an opinion that is just as valid as everybody else's opinion, but in fact, this one is more valuable to you because it's yours. Right? Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a truth. Everybody's got an absolute truth of their very own, but this one is yours. So this one, of course, means the most. This is the one that you're going to argue for. This is the one that you're going to speak up about. Intrinsically, it's not any more valid than anybody else. That's okay. But for you right now in this relative moment, this is what you're going to advocate for. Yeah. And we talked about our art or temperance card, the pressure cooker. You're not averse to hard work. It's not the pressure that bothers you. See, this card's in the position of the obstacle, right? The obstacle is not the pressure, but the obstacle is whether or not you're choosing to enter into this pressure cooker and be changed in this way. If you're willing to enter into this partnership or this association or this scenario or this restaurant and have that experience. Okay? You know that through every interaction you have, you're changing, it's changing, the universe is different, right? Through every interaction we have, every relationship, every moment. So it's not the hard work, it's not the change that you're afraid of, it's the fact that it's kind of the powerlessness that we sometimes feel. Well, that Three of Swords. Things are just happening to me. I've got no say in anything. Well, the Three of Wands is saying, no, I've got the final say in things. So, it's not the pressure that gets to you. It's this idea of not having any pressure of our own, or feeling that we don't have a say in who we're becoming through these. Think of a pressure cooker where you put meat, vegetables in the pressure cooker and it changes the nature of those proteins, right, in that pressure cooker in a very rapid way, to the point where, the protein has no say in it. But I think it's kind of like we're willing to enter into these kinds of situations if I know that I want to do this, that this is important for me, that this means something to me. I'm choosing to go in here and be changed by this experience. So I like that. And then what happens? Well, we grow. We become this beautiful tree with a lot of branches and a lot of fruit, and that's happy, right? This is kind of like we're growing in this best life. This is like our perfect ideal of our garden, right? The Garden of Eden, right? This is in a very human, very practical, very real way. We're growing in the way that we've chosen. I'm becoming the tree. I'm becoming the life form that I want to become. My life is becoming more about sort of how I've pictured it, how I've envisioned it. You want to have a garden in your yard, right? You don't just let nature or the birds just come and just whatever random seeds get dropped in the dirt, and that's your garden, right? No, this is a garden that we are choosing to cultivate. I'm going to make a boundary, right? Boundaries. I'm going to till the soil. I'm going to select what kind of flowers or plants, right? Maybe some native plants, whatever's local to your area, whatever makes sense for you, right? Whatever seems authentic and correct and right and feels good, that's what I'm going to plant. Do you want vegetables or do you just want flowers? Do you want a mixture of both? What are we doing here? It's intentional, the way that we are, and this is our life. And this is how we're growing our life, and we have to have that, we have to have a voice about what we're growing, how our life is developing. We have to cultivate and sort of manicure our own lives. Yeah. Otherwise, the world is going to do it for us in a very haphazard way. And I think that's where a lot of us feel that Three of Swords. We just feel like something ain't right in life. Why is life like this? Why does it feel like this? Because we're just letting the world grow our garden for us. Yeah. So this is about finding that voice and using it and taking some power here. Okay. Let's look at our mystery card. I like this. This reading for you feels very good. I want to see some very good water energy. Because that's really what it's about, right? It's sort of this feeling. I'm feeling this way. I'm thinking this way. I'm going to direct my thoughts to something, to the way I choose to cultivate and manicure and grow my garden. And so we're focused now on being that authentic energy. Maybe we want a 10 of Cups. Maybe we want to feel that the garden we're growing is not just an empty, meaningless garden that's just all appearances. We want the substance. We want to find meaning and depth in the garden that we're growing, the life that we're building. Because your life's going to be built either way. Okay? And unless we intentionally put our own energy into this, this is going to be an empty shell. So I'm thinking 10 of Cups here. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. The Knight of Wands. Okay. Mobilizing our energy. It's not enough to just have the force, the power, the passion, the buildup of this fiery energy, the urge to do it. We've got to mobilize that energy. We've got to take charge. We've got to take control. This is a card now. We've had the Queens looking at the past, looking at causes. We have the Prince looking at meaning right here in the present moment. Why is it here? What is it trying to teach me? What am I supposed to do with this? And the Knights are looking at the future. The Knights are thinking, this isn't going to get built unless I put the energy in and build it. Okay, so in some ways, the Knight of Wands, our energy has to intentionally find these pressure cookers. You get to pick which ones. You have to go into the pressure cooker. Which one you're going to go into is up to you. Okay, it's like you gotta make some choices here. And we've got to go into situations that are going to help us grow. That's what the pressure cooker does. It changes the nature of the proteins. It changes the nature of us. It changes us, right? And it changes the pressure cooker a little bit too. But we have to choose where we're going to do that and how we're going to grow, how our garden will grow, right? Mobilizing our energy, making choices, and deciding and setting our sights on something. Yeah, we have to picture what we want. We have to aim at it, but then we got to do it. Then we've got to go in that direction with everything we've got. I like this reading for you very, very much. Feels very powerful. Now, we're going to do an I Ching reading. We're going to do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below for the extended reading. Okay. New general readings for Aquarius Thursday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both of the free readings. Okay. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. That is also free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.